the lifestyle audit in retirement. If you're over 40, 50s and beyond, I'm not going to call it budgeting. It's a lifestyle audit. And this is how I learned about the lifestyle audit. I didn't expect it, but last year I lived out of town for about almost a month. And it's really what got me thinking. My whole life, I live in Nairobi. I was born and bred in Nairobi. But my whole life, I've thought Nairobi will be it. I will die in Nairobi. But after living out of town for 3.5 weeks, I came home and it started, the seed was planted. It doesn't have to be Nairobi. First of all, living out of Nairobi was way cheaper. It doesn't have to be Nairobi and less stressful, no traffic. Yeah. So the lifestyle audit is now in this new season. What do you want your life to be? Because a lot of us, we've built a life based on, yes, you had to bring up kids. They were going to school. There were family expectations. Your career had certain expectations. So you built a life around that. A lot of it has also been based on what you were told you should be or what other people think. There's a status we know we keep up with because of what other people think. I want to live in this neighborhood. I want to drive this car. This is how I want to entertain myself. Yeah. But when you pause, and I want to encourage anyone thinking about retirement, planning for retirement, in retirement, before you do anything, pause. Just stop and think. And if you can, for a while, go put yourself in a completely different environment. Away from the usual conversations, away from the usual people, away from the usual noise. So you can really get in touch with yourself and ask yourself, what do you want? So in our fear comes from, will I have money to sustain my lifestyle? But what is that lifestyle? So I like to teach it through an ABC model. Now, typically in your A, think about your expenses and divide them into A, B, C. Typically in your A basket are the critical expenses: food, water, rent, if you're paying school fees, things like that. In B, they are important, but they may not be completely essential. Paying for a gym, the option is run on the road. Driving a car, convenient, but it is not critical. You can still move around even if you don't have a car. And C are the rest: luxuries. You go out, you do your holidays, your entertainment, you have your Netflix. That is all C. So let's go back to retirement. For the stage of life you are in, or you are going to enter in a couple of years, what is going to be in your A basket? Yeah. Back to what I was saying in Nairobi. Before, you could have been thinking, my house, maintaining my house in Nairobi or paying rent for my house in Nairobi. Does that fall in the A basket really anymore? It could have been food at a certain level, but now you're like, maybe my lifestyle and the way I eat has to change. You may have to put in other things in your A basket like health. Yeah. Then what are your important expenses? What are your others? So once you start prioritizing like that, you know, even with money, even if you got lump sum money today, these are the critical expenses to take care of. Having an adult child living in your house is not a critical expense. So maybe it's more important for you to spend money doing a course that upskills you so that you can go on to the next season of your life than supporting your adult child who by now should have left the nest. So it's just time for us to rethink that. Maybe it's not about having a car that you're driving in traffic. Maybe you don't want to be in traffic anymore. But if you sell the car, there's something you can do with those funds. And then when you need to use public transport, take an Uber. You don't need to be moving around. Maybe what you're doing, you're getting into, you can do on Zoom. You don't need to be moving around that much. So do you need the car? And I'm asking you the questions I'm personally asking myself. So go and do a lifestyle audit. Paint the picture. What does my life look like in retirement? What are going to be my A, critical, must have? What are going to be my important? They are good to have. Hopefully you can afford to have them or work towards them. And then there are the others. And remember, this is a season of your life where you get to explore. So if traveling every year is good for you, maybe it goes into your B basket or your A basket. So just think, this is a time to say, if not now, when? So look at that in the context of what's A, B, C. Go and evaluate your lifestyle. Let's make sense. Do share, subscribe.